God bless you, church. This is Pastor Adiel here. I'm super excited to talk to you guys for a few minutes and give you my radiant words. It's tough not to be able to see you or hear you or fellowship with you all, but the same way that our God is in our midst when we gather in the temple, we know that He's in our midst when we gather virtually. So it's no different in His eyes. His power is still the same, His strength is still the same, and His presence is still the same. I'm here to give you my radiant words, and if this time has taught me anything, it's about the topic of perspective. And truly, that has been real for me over the last couple of weeks, and I think it's real for all of us. That how we see things and how we interpret things and in what filter we value our experiences is much greater than the emotions that we go through in the moment. I think about Jesus and His disciples. When He told them all to get on the ship, He told them all, we're going to make it to the other side. And then came the thunder and the lightning and the winds and the waves. And in the midst of that panic and in the midst of that turmoil, there was the perspective of a promise. And that promise was, we're going to get to the other side. And I think about the Israelites leaving Exodus, or leaving Egypt during the Exodus. And they're traveling and they're running away from the Egyptians that are chasing them and the Pharaoh that's right behind them. And there's a body of water in front of their promise. When Jesus said they were going to be somewhere, or when the Lord said they were going to be somewhere, in both occasions, all there was a body of water that was surrounding them. And so the people saw panic and the people saw chaos. But the peace of the promise of God was right there with them the whole time. And so it's all about perspective. So my question to you all is, what do you see? Do you see the body of water, or do you see something in the way of you to get to your promise? And so God has given us a word, and it's that His peace will surpass all understanding. And if I've learned anything, it's that the natural habitat of peace, the natural environment of peace, is chaos and panic. That's where peace thrives. That's where peace grows. And that's what the Bible talks about when it says the peace that surpasses all understanding. It's the peace that surpasses the environment of your emotions, the peace that surpasses the chaos of your confusion. It's the peace that surpasses the confusion and the questions that you ask yourself. But perspective, which is what you have to keep in mind, that if Jesus said we're going to get to the other side, then we will. I'm reminded of the word that the Lord gave us during our anniversary, and it's that we're going into a Sabbath year. And so we can't forget that. We can't forget that during the Sabbath year, the Bible says in Leviticus 25 that we're not going to sow in our fields nor prune our vineyards. Well, guess what, church? We're not having a temple service. We're not congregating. We're not gathering. That's part of the Sabbath. The Bible says also in Leviticus 25:5, it goes on to say that we will not be able to reap the aftergrowth of the grapes that we've gathered and that we've planted. We're not doing that. We're not reaping any of the fruit that we have. But then it says, we will enjoy the products of our land and have food to eat in our homes. Before we welcome the Jubilee, this needs to happen. This didn't catch God by surprise. The end of that chapter says, Leviticus 25:20-21 says, during the Sabbath I will order my blessing to you. Church, I'm here to tell you that God is ordering His blessing over each and every one of us. And in this season, He is extracting production from each and every one of us. This season did not catch Him by surprise. This is not a season of pause, but it is a season of production. So push through, trust God, taste the grapes. Remember, you have a different spirit. The perspective that you have during this season will determine how much you will produce. I cannot wait to celebrate Jubilee with each and every one of you. God bless you all. Until then, amen.